So Grace and I have got 5 kids, 3 boys, 2 girls. And for me and for us, it's really cultivating both tough and tender. And I think boys that you want to grow into good men, they need to be both. They need to be tough. They need to know when to stand up to the bully, to protect those who are in danger. So we want the boys to defend and love and protect. We also want them to be tender. We want them to be affectionate and kind. We don't want the boys to be the bullies. We want them to be the ones who are up against the bullies. So yeah, we're always working on both of those with the boys. Sometimes tough, sometimes tender. And for boys, they have a hard time being discerning. So sometimes boys are always tough. Well, then they're wrestling with their sister and hurting her and sassing their mom. Or they're always tender, which means they're really nice and they do well in school and church and home, but they get on the sports field or they get out in the real world with the other boys and they're in serious trouble. So it's trying to teach them to be both tough and tender. And sometimes that's just life examples. A story comes to mind. My son, Zach, when he was younger, there was a boy over at our house. Family was over, and the older boy was picking on his little sister. And so he told the boy on a few occasions, if you keep picking on my sister, I'm going to make you stop. He's going to hit him. And the boy didn't stop and was hurting his little sister. So he walled off and hit this kid to make him stop hurting his little sister. And then the boy comes running and crying in the room and whining, "Oh my gosh, Zach hit me." And I'm thinking, oh boy, the pastor's kid just cracked somebody. But I knew Zach, and he wasn't normally like that. And so I asked him, I said, "Did you hit that boy?" He said, "Yes, I did." And I asked, "Why?" Zach started crying. He said, "He kept hurting my sister, and I told him to stop, and I told him if he wouldn't stop, I'd make him stop." And so the parent, as I remember the story, looked at me and said, "So what are you going to do now?" I said, "I'm going to get him some ice cream." Because that's the right thing to do. As a dad, you've got to make yourself available to be there so that you can say, pull them aside, kind of like a coach in the middle of a game and say, okay, you did this, you should have done that. You know, I'm going to send you back in there. You need to do it different this time. And in that way, a dad's kind of a bit of a coach as the game of life is going on.